Very fascinating that that's still here.
So, yes. So, I've completely forgotten my train of thought. I was going to say something and I forgot what it was.
Choo-choo.
I'm sure it was interesting.
Right. Cut this bit out in post.
Nah.
Make myself look very smart. No. So, it is coming up on lunchtime as the train pulls away on the next leg of its journey. The two French sisters and Jean have disembarked, but the rest of you are carrying on the way. And several of the other fellow passengers are milling around in either the dining car or the saloon car. And Maddie is still in her room for now. But the rest of you, what would you like to be doing?
I mean, if it's lunchtime, I'll have lunch.
There's a little time before lunch. If there's anything you want to do before lunch.
Well, I'll probably sit in the dining cart with a paper and probably a little bit of something to drink. Trying to get my head in another direction, as the guy that I'm assuming is at fault for the death of my friend is just gone and I can't do anything about it. So I'm just gonna sit there, read about the day's events.
Okay. Mortimer and Morgan, are either of you doing anything?
I think Mortimer would need to have a word with Morgan before we go to the salon. So, Morgan, I'm not entirely trusting the conductor.
No shit.
What I'm thinking of doing, I'm not sure whether... Oh, I don't know what's going on. But I find the whole thing a bit strange at the moment. Like the arm's been taken out of the case, and the case it was in has probably been thrown off the train, and it's been put into a separate container, so it might not even be in the blue case anymore. But what I think we need to do, well, what I'm going to try and do is chat to some of the staff and mingle a lot with the guests and be sociable and charming and just nice, and see if we can find out off any of the staff whether the cabins were really searched or whether the conductor just told us they were. Because there's a chance the conductor has got his own compartment as such, or his own storage area, so it could be if the item's been stolen, then he might have it there, or he could be working with someone in one of the cabins. It might be more than one person. But I'll see if I can mingle to the staff and see if I can work out whether the cabins were really searched or not. And we'll have to find a way possibly to distract the conductor and see if we can check his room. I don't think he's got a full-size cabin as such. It's more like a small little area, but we may have to consider searching that at some point somehow.
I do agree with you. The fact that he didn't want to police, what we did, and with the acting role of the other guy, normally the police could have taken us with no problem. So it's a little strange that the police couldn't get in. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's and I wonder. I was thinking about it. If it's just a theory, you know. But what if the conductor is using the train to smuggle some artifacts all over Europe?
Could be.
And have contacts with different kind of persons. And every stop he stops somewhere, and he can take some artifacts and get off some artifacts with no problem, using the renown of the train, you know.
Very true, he could be. it'd be worth checking out.
Indeed.
I'm just wondering whether whoever's stolen the arm plans to actually take it to Constantinople as well. I think that was where it was made. The statue seemed to have history in that part of the world. I'm not sure if it was actually from Constantinople or somewhere nearby. I cannot remember. I think Miss Carter mentioned something about the name of the statue, but I don't know a great deal.
I hope we can find it back, but I think as well it will. If you get off this train, it will be on the end of the road as well, in Constantinople. I'm rather sure about that.
I'm not really sure whether I'm going to make it back to London at this point. Not doing that well myself. Last couple of times I've used magic, it's almost broken my mind, and I feel if I do it again, it will be the last time.
Let's not do it again then.
I'll try not to.
No, but
If it involves saving a number of people, then I might still.
let's make a deal then. Over my dead body. You can do it once I'm dead, all right?
We'll see. I suspect it'll be a spur of the moment thing, but on the off chance, I've actually written a letter to my sister to be taken back to her if I don't actually make it. It'll be in my well, I say in my luggage. It's actually on my bed as such in the cabin.
If you want to know, before I left, I sent a letter to my advocate to if something happens to me, that all my money would be sent to the London Esoteric Society.
It's good.
Why not?
Just to have
So yeah, a backup plan.
I've actually. My sister knows about my will and most of my books. We'll have to see how it goes. You never know. We might make it. But it's best to plan for the worst and hope for the best.
Indeed.
But, should we join the rest of the passengers now and see what's going on?
I don't think we'll be able to charm them, but I'll try to mingle.
You never know. We could even play chess.
Oh. I'll still have my revenge on you to take.
We'll see.
Yes.
So, yes, I think we'll head to the salon now.
Okay, whilst Morgan and Mortimer were having their little conversation, Johan, over in the salon car, your peaceful introspection is interrupted when the young woman, Marlene Kirsch, sits down next to you.
Oh. Well, good morning.
Good Morgan. Sorry if I'm disturbing you.
Oh,
She-
don't worry.
And she, like you, she is speaking German.
Yeah.
I was sorry to hear about your friend. I
Thank
saw
you.
them taking him off the train. That must be quite horrible.
Wish I knew what happened, but well, there is work to be done, and not enough time to, follow him home.
No, you're still carrying on with your journey, even after
Yeah.
that. See, there's I saw you talking to those two other gentlemen, the ones that the English doctor and the Scotsman.
Yeah,
The one with the
It's-
face?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Do you know them? You seem awfully close.
Well, they were just there in the evening to, well, do what we could. And it kind of, you know, it helped a bit. I don't really know them.
No, they.
Seeing them for, well, third day now, I think.
I don't know what it is about them. Something unsettling. I would keep my distance if I were you. They seem dangerous sorts. But I will. I see them coming now. I will leave you to your books. And once again, I'm very sorry about your friend.
Thank you. But don't worry, I'm able to take care of myself.
And she stands up and leaves you in peace as Morgan and Mortimer enter the salon car.
I'll think a moment about what you just said. Then I'll just fold up my paper again and, read again. And I'll keep let her mannerisms, pass through my brain again and try to think of. I mean, she did she know, or was she just, was she genuinely worried, or was there something different in there? What I'm trying to say is this just her genuinely being instinctually, is this just superstition? And because Dr. Davenport doesn't really strike anybody as a sane individual, so, to be expected from that angle. But if she's like somebody that is involved and knows these two, then there might be a different sort of behavior behind the whole thing. I'm trying to discern whether or not it's one or the other. I'm not sure how well that works, but we will see.
Okay. You don't really get much more than the surface impression.
Mm.
She's gone to settle in the corner with her book, and you notice she has the same sort of quiet, guarded mannerism that she had before when she was talking to you.
Okay.
You don't get much more of her deeper intent.
Sure, I'll just keep reading. Something about Samoa.
Yeah. Lady Viola is at the piano, picking out a little bit of a tune. Timothy is sat nearby with his papers. The other doctor, Dr. Johnson, Walter, is sat reading his book at one of the small tables, and Marlena has gone to one corner and is reading her novel. But it's a much more subdued atmosphere than there was the first day. Everyone seems quite quiet. The only people missing who haven't left the train are Maddie and the newlyweds. If there's anyone you'd like to talk to or anything you would like to do before lunch, let me know.
I think Mortimer will go to get himself a coffee from the bar, and he'll try and chat to the various staff about the place. There'll be not just the bar staff, but there's probably waiting staff and staff passing through. You try and be sociable with them to try and I don't know the best way to put it.
Ingratiate himself with them?
Yes, that's the best
Calm
way.
them?
Oh, that could be a role. So,
That could be a role indeed, yes.
see what they think about events on the train, just general information, and I'm trying to basically find out whether they know of the cabins being searched or not. I'm trying to find out whether the conductor really had it done or not. I'm trying not to ask directly, I'm just trying to be nice and generally sociable.
May you give me a roll, please?
Let's see. This could go wrong. That's close.
Oof. So, I mean, it's just been an eventful journey so far, and, you know, with a little charming, get them talking, you hear a little about, you know, they took a dead body off the train, someone got thrown off the train after there was an altercation with gunshots. One of the waitresses complains about being woken up in the early hours of the morning to clean blood out of the dining car, and still nobody knows where the blood came from. And there's a few, once you get them talking, a few sort of murmured complaints about the conductor waking them up at all odd hours to fix all these many problems on the train, and having them rifling through passengers' bags, searching for some strange statue or something. But
That's the main thing I was interested in, to find out whether there was really a search and whether they were aware of the theft.
yeah, they are well aware of the search, but the ones that don't realise that you are involved in ordering the search think it was a load of a big waste of time. Like, we didn't even find anything. Like, there's nowhere to. Why would you hide stuff on a train? Like, I half thought that he would have us out checking the roof in the middle of the night, but at least he waited till we got to Munich to check that.
But it's something I want to check based on the fact that Mortimer may or may not have been involved with smuggling. Would he have an idea of the best way to smuggle goods on a train?
Depends what sort of train and what sort of goods. I mean, usually you put it in your case or in luggage, and
But the problem with the Orient Express is luggage tends to get checked at the borders.
yeah, well, it depends if you've got false paperwork for it, or if
That's
it's
true.
bundled away underneath a lady's nightdress where it won't get searched.
Or enough money to pay people to look the other way.
Yes, I mean, if you're going to be honest, this wouldn't be your first choice of train for smuggling. Like, it's going to really cut into your returns, smuggling stuff on the Orient Express.
Yeah, not
on
the
the
best
other hand-
choice.
Maybe they wouldn't search it as well. Who knows?
Depends on who you are. If you're nobility, they probably wouldn't bother searching you.
Yeah.
That's okay. I'll just carry on being sociable and chatting to the staff and trying to, in a way, we're on the Orient Express. I may as well enjoy myself whilst I'm here and enjoy the sights and
Yeah,
just the
there's some
journey.
beautiful scenery out the window.
Exactly. I've been missing it with all the madness going on. So I'm just going to relax a bit, enjoy a cup of coffee, and have a look to see who's in the room, really. Who's nearest to me, and
Oh, depends where you put. Depends where you want to put yourself. Who's nearest?
that's true, because I would have been mingling.
From the bar, the nearest is Dr. Johnson with his book on ornithology. Marlena over in one corner. Timothy with all his paperwork, and Lady Viola playing away still.
I'll probably go to sit near Dr. Johnson, I think. I'll just see if there's an English paper nearby. I think they do pick up English papers on this at the stops.
I jolly well hope so.
Yes, they do.
You're
They
reading
get-
any of the foreign papers?
They actually pick up one of each of the major papers as they go through. I'll assume there's something there to read anyway.
Are you trying to engage in conversation, or are you just...
I'll see how he reacts. If it seems I could, then I will. I'm not going to interrupt him, but I wouldn't want to interrupt someone when they're reading a book. But I'll probably just sit down nearby and enjoy the rest of my coffee and have a look through the paper.
Morning? Or, well, I think it's...
It is morning. Good morning. How are you?
Still morning. Still morning. Ah, well, didn't get that much sleep last night. Got woken up at some god-awful hour in the morning.
It has been a strange old journey.
Yes, and then I swear during breakfast I heard gunshots.
I've never travelled on a train before, so I'm not sure what sort of noises a train normally makes.
No, that's to be fair, but I think I know the sound of a gun when I hear one.
Same. I'm fairly certain I heard something like that, but I didn't want to float accusations around about gunshots. I mean, if it were gunshots, likely police would have been involved.
Likely so, but well, we're missing a couple of passengers. Maybe someone's
You never
knocking it
know.
off in the night. No?
That's very true. Well,
Yeah.
I haven't really had a chance to mingle much
Quite
with
a
the
daft
passengers.
place to murder someone on a train. Like, there's only so
Yeah.
many suspects.
It's not as if you can run away. You're stuck on the train.
Exactly.
It's not as if
Sorry,
you can...
I cut you off. You were saying something.
Sorry, yeah. I was just thinking I've been keeping to myself quite a bit on this journey so far, just reading, and I thought, well, this is the Orient Express. I may as well enjoy the journey, the scenery, and be sociable and chat to the various passengers.
Exactly. Half the pleasure of travelling is the people you meet along the way.
It is. Anyway, I'm Dr. Mortimer Davenport from London. Pleasure to meet you.
Dr. Walter Johnson.
Great.
Oh, yes. Currently from London, yes, these days.
That's a very interesting book you have. What book is it he's got?
Ornithology of Anatolia.
Okay. Not an area of my interest, but interesting all the same.
Ah, yes. Well, I'm a bit of a collector. Well, birds, eggs, beetles, anything I can get my hands on. I've got quite the collection back home.
That is interesting.
Rather running out of rooms.
Yes, that's the problem. You end up getting more items than you have space for them. I myself are struggling with space for books at the moment. I've got all my shelves full and ended up stacking books on top of the shelves. And books on top of the books.
Yes, well, I gave over some of the bookshelves to stuffed birds, but then I had to build more bookshelves for the books.
Yes, it's an unending task, really.
Yes, my poor Deirdre despairs of me.
But it's interesting all the same. Do you have a particular area of interest regards these animals or collections?
What do you know about passerine birds?
Not a great deal.
And unless you stop him, you're about to learn a good deal more.
Well, he's just going to nod and carry on and wait for a chance to escape the conversation before moving for another drink, perhaps. But in the meantime, he's just going to listen and tend to be polite.
So whilst Mortimer is learning more than he ever dreamt of learning about sparrows and finches, what are Johann and Morgan up to?
Morgan? Okay, Johanna would be getting off his reading of the paper and makes way over to Fräulein Melene again. You know, put the paper aside. May I take a seat?
Yes, yes.
I was just thinking it'd be interesting to, talk and all, just socialize a bit,
Oh,
being the only two
yes.
gens left here.
But maybe
I was-
we'll pick up a few more soon.
Yeah, potentially. Driving is all around, but what I was wondering, to be completely frank, is why are you traveling all alone? I mean, it's not, you're not striking me as, and I'm pointing, subtly pointing over to Miss Viola. You're not striking me as somebody that would usually be, on their way alone.
No, I am starting a new job in Constantinople as a governess.
Oh,
My employer was kind enough to pay for my travel in luxury.
I mean, that is indeed a kind thing to do. A governess in Constantinople. May I, if it's not too much, may I ask who the employee is? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm on the way there to, get a little political, rub some elbows.
They are a wealthy family, originally from Vienna, but their father is serving as a diplomat. And she lists off a name that would be known to you.
Oh, and then I would
official ambassador.
That's the point where I would probably
Austria.
pull every single thing out of her that she knows about the guy.
Give me a charm here.
Because that is the reason that I'm on the way there. So obviously as much information as I can get.
I confess I don't know. I've never met the man. But he was a friend of my father's, and I was recommended for the job. And so
it's always about who you know.
But I confess I am a little nervous. This is the furthest I've ever been for work, and
it's a grand adventure.
A grand adventure, I guess you could call it that. But I've never been much a fan of adventure. They tend to have sticky ends if you read the books.
They do indeed. And I would, just like.
But you are traveling to Constantinople too. Perhaps we might meet again in the city. Although I've heard it is very big.
I would certainly hope so. Especially considering your employer, since I'm basic, and I would basically explain what family I'm from, and that I'm basically, trying to get to know people, get a diplomatic appointment in the Ottoman Empire. And, I would basically brag, but trying to, use that, the fact that she's in a diplomatic household to, maybe we can get her to, she can help arrange a meeting, or, trying to basically leave a positive impression on her. And yeah, it's probably everything he'd do.
Yes, and I was sure to mention your name to Von Kalis.
I'd appreciate that a lot. The book she's reading is what kind of a book is that? As sitting next to it.
It looks to be an adventure novel.
An adventure
essentially
novel.
a bit of a sort of, I guess, one step above the kind of stories that get printed in newspapers rather than books.
Okay.
More sort of a collection of it. It's a
Groschenroman. Okay, yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Quite a, yeah.
I'd
And as she sees you looking, she kind of shuffles it out of sight a little.
Yeah, I just smile and say, no, not one for adventures, right?
I prefer reading about them to
I mean, that's understandable.
doing them.
But imagine once you're done, how it feels to having done it and not just read about it.
Yes, well, I imagine that depends on the nature of the adventure.
Well, you'll never know beforehand, right?
Indeed.
And yeah, he'll just keep talking, an actual interesting conversation.
Yeah, so as he talks to Marlena, Dr. Mortar is talking to Walter. Morgan, what are you up to during this time?
I'm trying to blend in, to be honest, because I made a little trouble the last few days. So I'm sitting quiet, reading a book actually, on the beverage bar, and we are just before breakfast or after breakfast.
It's almost lunchtime.
Okay, so I'm drinking coffee for the moment.
Okay. So the time whiles away, and soon it is lunch. And as all the passengers sort of drift through into the dining car, you see you have been joined by the 3 missing passengers. The couple over at their own table, and Maddie, who sits down with Mortimer and Morgan. Johan, are you dining alone or are you dining with the others? Or
Well, depending on how much space there is, if there's enough space for everybody to have their own table, I probably would have my own.
there's
If there is
plenty of
not,
space.
okay, so I'll probably have my own one. I'm not sure if Malene is involved in that whole thing, and I don't want her to see me with the others, but I saw things that aren't normal, and her warning me about them being off just rang all my warning signs. So I'm basically trying to keep distance to both parties and basically trying to figure out what's happening and what's on.
Okay. So yes, as all the passengers take their seats in the dining car, Maddie sits down with Morgan and Mortimer, wearing one of her new dresses. Don't suppose you had any luck, did you?
No luck.
Let's
You haven't
say,
found it.
Doctor had more luck to find you a suitable and beautiful dress, and we recover our artifact.
Yes, thank you for the dress. They most.
We're fairly certain it hasn't left the train yet.
Are you Mortimer? Right, I see. Certain, are you?
Well, the only passenger who left at the last stop, we did check, and well, fairly certain he didn't have any luggage. I helped unload his luggage, so
I see. see. There's still hope then.
I just check something. Is there something strange about Maddie?
Maybe a psychology roll.
I was hoping just about a dreadful psychology.
I mean, there's definitely something. I mean, there's definitely something off about her. But
I'll just see if there's something different about her, whether someone's disguised as her. That is what.
I mean, if you maybe a spot hidden as well, if you're trying to look. It's definitely. She's only sat across the table from you.
Yeah.
Like, it is Maddie.
It's Maddie. She has been insane before. She has been mad before, so I'm not really concerned about psychology role, but I do.
Yeah.
I'm just curious if there's a way to look differently. There's a success. But...
It's Maddie. She's wearing her dress you bought just this morning, I believe. She looks like Maddie. She doesn't talk quite like Maddie.
No, but
it's
same voice.
It appears to be Maddie. It's definitely the same voice, different cadence.
Now that's strange. Different cadence.
Like it sounds like Maddie's voice, but she doesn't talk quite like Maddie. The rhythms of how she's talking is.
And how she structures her sentences.
Yes.
Slightly off. Okay. That's fair enough. I'll just carry on as normal.
How about you, Morgan? Any luck?
We could say that. I haven't been arrested.
Always a plus.
Yeah. To be honest, I think it's really strange.
Yes,
we have seen stranger things than that.
You certainly have. Look, if it's still on the train, we must move fast to make sure that we find it before it leaves the train. Whatever happens, we must not let whoever's taken it disappear off with it.
We have seen
Maybe
some strange things
years before
before.
such a thing comes into our possession again.
Yeah, we have seen some strange things before.
Yeah.
Like someone hitting with, like someone hitting another person with camembert, for example.
Parmesan.
Yeah,
someone with
Parmesan.
Camembert would not have anywhere near the same effect.
Or splat, really.
It would have been more funnier.
Probably briefly funnier, and then swiftly unfunny. That was quite a messy way of handling a situation all round. But it worked, I suppose.
It worked.
Yes. If the arm is no longer on the train, then I suppose this whole journey becomes rather a dead end. But a trip to Constantinople is always enlightening.
At least it's a nice journey.
At least it's a nice, well, apart from
Nice scenery, a few
the
overlooking
everything.
odd death and incident with gunshots. But I'm just wondering whether the person who's taking it is planning to take it to Constantinople anyway.
It very much depends who they are, who they work for.
You didn't have much of a chance to tell us much about the arm, just the name of the statue. Do you know, have you found out anything else about it?
I've looked through the books and it's not much more to be found, but an old friend of Sir John's in Constantinople might be able to help us if we get there with the arm. But if we don't get there, then there's little point to looking for him. Turning up empty-handed would be rather a waste of your time and his, wouldn't it?
That it would.
But
But all the same, I'm fairly certain it's still on the train. Not sure who has it, but the numbers of people who might are getting smaller.
Indeed. Well, we better get on and find it then, hadn't we, Mortimer?
That we will, that we will.
Hmm. Well, I will, maybe there's something else in the books.
I hope the dresses were fine. I wasn't quite sure what was suitable. I've not exactly.
Sure, I'm sure they're fine.
I've not
They're
bought
very.
many women's dresses before now.
They're quite lovely.
I believe the last set of dresses I bought would have been for my wife, and that was some time ago.
Well, obviously, one doesn't buy dresses for a dead woman.
That's true.
Now, yes, books to be read. Gentlemen, I advise you move swiftly on this hunt. Our prize is slipping further and further from our fingers.
If we find it, you'll be the first to know.
Good. And as the next courses, as the courses have cleared away, Maddie departs back to her cabin.
That was interesting. Did you notice that, Morgan?
I cannot remember when was the last time she called us by her first name.
Well, there's always a first time, I suspect. But I'm not the best judge of characters, but it looked. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Wait and see.
I'm just worried I'm losing my mind. I mean, I'm fairly certain this is the first time that Miss Carter's referred to me as not as Dr. Davenport. And to be fairly honest, I've only referred to her as Maddie once. And that was when we were in a house to do with a snake person. I think I referred to her as Maddie when I was chatting to Lady Irene briefly. I think that was the only time, but we were in a rush. But things seem a bit off, but I don't know. I'm not sure.
Wait and see then.
There's nothing strange about her, just her behaviour slightly off, but how many of us are completely sane or normal? I think we'll probably make our way after food to the salon, more than likely, once the food's been eaten and...
Yeah, people carry on, drifting around. A professional pianist comes out to entertain you for a while. You only hear a couple of snide comments from Lady Viola.
Just a couple.
Only a couple. Marlena remains lingering behind in the dining car for quite a while, rather than going through into the salon car.
Well, I'm not going to be imposing for too long. So, I'll leave for the salon car.
And the journey stretches on. The train wheels turn, the engine carries on. And if there's anything you want to do to carry on this investigation, anyone you want to talk to, let me know.
I think I'll be, on occasion striking up another conversation with Malene. And, put that arm, not mention that arm that's been looked about, that I heard at night that there was an arm of a statue lost, and that there's been thieves about, and if she had heard or seen anything.
Oh, was that what was taken? I knew that they were searching the cabins.
So, how's she reacting to hearing that it's an arm?
Give me a psychology check. Yeah, she's good. Yeah, they went through my books and my clothes. I just wouldn't expect this kind of thing from this level of level of service.
I mean,
no particular reaction to it being an arm.
Yeah.
Not really surprised by it.
Yeah, not really surprised by it, but also not even noting it. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll just gossip a bit. And, I'll always occasionally strike up a little bit of a conversation, but then leave her to her devices again. I don't want to seem like I'm imposing.
Yes. She seems... What you do get is that she seems much more unsettled than she did before. And she'd lingered a long time in the dining car before coming through into this long car. And as she's there, you notice her glancing every now and again to the door to the sleeping car. Just this nervous glance. As she's worried about something. But yeah, something has her on edge.
Sure. I'll note that, and I'll just wait a bit before I, if she calms down or not, or if it's a constant sort of anxiety that she has.
Yeah, she just seems nervous about something, and whatever's making her nervous doesn't seem to be going away. So whilst Johan is observing Marlena, what is in a purely professional capacity? What is everyone else up to?
Where is Timothy at for the moment?
At this table, still going through his stacks of papers, muttering away to himself. Doesn't even add up. There's an extra 100 in there. God.
Are you going to be all right there?
Oh, yes, sorry. Just some people should not be let anywhere near an accounting book.
I haven't accounted for that reason, so I can.
Well, I can hardly really get an accountant, being an accountant. It would rather be a circular process.
Would you mind me ask for a drink for you?
Just take a seat. I could do with a break from this anyway. It's
What can I get you? Something strong? Coffee?
A tea would be fine, thank you.
A tea. All right, I'll get that for you. I'm going to the bar, asking for...
Drinking and accountancy don't mix well.
Can't imagine. But I will be doing a little toast, so sorry about that. And I will going to the bar, asking for a coffee, a little whiskey, and the tea for the sir. And bring it to the table then. Here you are, sir.
Thank you. I don't think we have waiters for that sort of thing. I think. I've never been on a train this nice before.
To be honest, I like to do things sometimes myself. We never know what can happen.
Yes. And you see, as he's talking to you, he's trying really hard not to look at the scar on your face. Like you see his eyes getting drawn to it, and then he's deliberately pulling his gaze away, trying to. He's currently staring at your right eye, like someone just above your eyebrow on the other side of your face.
And I will facilitate it. I will turn a little to just show a little more of my more not the scarred face. I will show the better part of my face. I will say it like that to ease the conversation for this person. So, you are in the accounting business.
Yes, accounts, a bit of contract law, wills, testaments, that kind of things. Started out as a lawyer, but I've drifted. I think, to be honest, these days more of an accountant. It's in the money business rather than the crime business. A long way.
And the reason you are going to on this trip?
Yes, visiting a client. A very wealthy client with a very bad previous accountant by the looks of things.
Ah, that's why you were swearing, because
I was not swearing.
no, like
Was I? Oh god, no one heard that, did they?
no, and even if I heard it, I will not pass it on. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, good.
But yeah, you were looking. You look troubled. So
the previous accountant, they're just bad accounts. I mean, I thought I could get them all read over on the train journey. You know, from all the way over from Paris, but yeah, it's taking some time. Like, look, it doesn't help. He holds up one sheet where half of the writing seems to be written back to front. Like, I have seen bad accounts, I have seen crooked accounts, but this one, it seems like whoever was keeping them went insane halfway through them. The procedure. So, yes,
it's a mess.
It's a mess. It's a mess. How about you? What brings you on this delightful journey?
Actually, we are going to Constantinople. Yeah, we are going to meet a friend of our colleague there, speaking about some artifacts, and for my part, learn a little about our world.
Oh, antiquities and tourism sounds fun. I'm only going as far as Bucharest myself.
Oh yeah, we thought it was a good idea to use this magnificent train to make the trip.
Yes. Look, this matters. No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, just go on.
No,
You wanted to ask?
it's this. I mean, you didn't see anything last night, did you, with all the goings on?
I saw somebody die yesterday. If that's what you mean?
You saw him, the passenger that died.
Yeah.
You saw what happened.
No, we saw him lying there, but we didn't see what happened. Yeah, you were the one that saw a ghost.
I mean, I saw that there was
Listen, I'm going to tell you. If you
things in the air, but even before that, I looked out. It was like that was all real, right? I'm not mad.
No. I'm not going to say that you are mad. Don't worry about that. I'm the last person who's going to say that you are mad. There are strange things in this world, but yeah, we never know. What did you see exactly?
A ghost outside the train, and it's gonna sound quite mad, but like a lady in white.
A lady in white that fell out the train?
No, just there outside the train, like suspended in the air, and she was there for just a moment, and then when I looked back, she was gone.
Could be two things. Or she's a lady that died in a train not long ago, or somebody was following someone on this train.
Maybe, But and then no. And then what with the I don't know even what I saw. The rest of the night's a blur. I remember hearing noises, going to look for something, and then everything after that is just doesn't quite make sense.
Let me ask you something. Do you want to know what it was? Or you prefer to go on with your life?
I
Sometimes knowing is not a good thing, let me tell you. And I'll show you my scar. I'll show you my scar. This knowing is not always a good thing, but it can be interesting.
No, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Then just let's just think about that. You saw something. You know in your heart that you saw something. Let it be just a story about your life, and not thinking about it anymore for the rest of your life. Just as something that you could speak about when people are speaking about ghost stories or something. But just go on with your life. That's a good advice.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And if you want to talk to someone, there are sometimes people like me, for example, who are really open to this kind of conversation. So if you pass to London, there is a little, let's say, a place called London Esoteric Society. They are sometimes interested in this kind of cases.
The London
Esoteric Society.
Yes. Despite you've never come across someone called Cecil Abernathy, have you?
The inspector?
Oh, he's a lawyer.
Ah, the lawyer, yeah. He's a lawyer.
Yeah, we went to we studied together. He did mention he did the account. Well, he did the legalities for. Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't want to know more.
Just let the name slip if you want to know more. But like I told you, if you don't, just go on with your life. Add this little story to your life, but just go on.
Yes. Well, if you do ever need an accountant, here's my card. Cecil's good at the legal matters, but if I must admit, I am the better accountant.
I will take the card and put it away. I will keep that in mind. Maybe we'll be in touch if when I make it back from Constantinople. And I think I will go chit chat like just normal.
Okay. The train carries on its merry little way. It's pauses, stops at Vienna at some point in the afternoon to take on a few more passengers, including a well-dressed couple looking to be in their 30s and a young man with a very sort of swaggering stride and a suit who moves with obvious wealth, but they, for their misfortune, join your compartment. Not your compartment, your carriage. We'll see how long they survive. And None of your fellow passengers disembark at Vienna, though, or carrying on further. Well, not in your immediate area. There are obviously some people on the train who did want to go to Vienna. Lovely place. Got a really nice ring road.
Not sure if that's there yet already.
Oh no, they are now we're free Ringstrasse. No reason to go to Vienna. They haven't got a ring road yet. Come back later. So, yes, the train carries on, and as the train trundles on from afternoon to evening and towards the next night, I think this is a good point at any to take a quick break with a mid-roll that is almost fixed. Or maybe it broken in new and exciting ways. We'll see you in 10 minutes' time. So, as the train carries on, heading east of Vienna, the sky outside still fairly bright. There's hours to go till evening. The passengers making conversation, drinking, playing chess, playing the piano, watching each other. And the new passengers you've taken on don't seem particularly suspicious. They seem to be getting on with their own life. You see some of them having a bit of a chat with Lady Viola, who seems to be enjoying having some new people to talk to after so long stuck with familiar faces. But yes, as the train carries on its way, is there anything the three of you would like to get done before evening?
All right. Sorry about that. Normally, I sent when we were in Munich, I sent a
yes.
telegram, and normally when we were in Vienna, I would be able to receive an answer.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me just double check my notes as to what because you'd hired some PIs. Was that what else was in the telegram?
I sent a message to my contacts of the Black Watch, who are taking care of the smuggling, and to see if the name of Monsieur Bazon
Yes.
was known. The PI, I think it was Johan that hired him.
Yes. Johan had hired the PIs, but Morgan, yes, you would have got a response to your telegram when you stopped in Vienna. And you learned that, yes, the name Jean Besson is known to them. He is a smuggler of arts and antiquities. Has been one for some time, but has only recently, picked up his game. He used to be a small-time smuggler. Recently has moved up a league. But the final note they said again is not that good. Stop.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's only very brief because it's a telegram, so they do say further details to follow by letter to London. So they're going to send you the rest of their files, but for now, that's all they can send.
Perfect.
As the train hurries on, Johan, would you make me a listen roll, please? I'm offering this opportunity because, in fact, everyone can, but it's of most use to you.
Go. That is a good one. If you need the luck for the hot one.
A success is perfectly fine. Mortimer, you can hear the entirety of this conversation, as can Morgan. However, it is in German.
Damn it.
So,
Who is the conversation between?
the conversation is between the conductor and Miss Kirsch, Marlena. And Johan, this is what you hear. I know, but I need to make changes to my journey. Could I just... Everything's happened with, I know people have been through my bags, and someone died, and I just thought maybe if I got off the train, I could carry it on my ticket on the next one instead. I hope that wouldn't be a problem if I change it to Bratislava. Oh, Budapest, actually. Bratislava. get up at Bratislava, and then I get. There's another train in 3 days. Yes. Right. Yeah. So. I'm sorry if this service has not been to your satisfaction. But I'm sure that can be arranged. We're reaching Bratislava before nightfall. I can make arrangements to have your baggage taken off the train, and I think there should be space on the train in 3 days' time. But I cannot make any promises about the quality of carriage. I don't know how booked the trains are quite busy this summer. With the new route opening, that is fine. I'll take a second class if first class is booked. Of course, Fräulein, I can see to it that is arranged. And the conductor passed, and you see Marlena looking around nervously, as though she's seeing if anyone was listening in. But she returns to her reading.
Sure. Okay. I mean, overhearing that, it's not like it's hard to overhear that. So
I heard it perfectly, but I don't understand a word of it.
You understood Bratislava.
The names of the cities.
And other, you understood essentially the names of places, but I think Bratislava was the only one mentioned. So,
The next stop.
the next stop, yes.
I think Morton will probably try to talk to some of the other guests if they're still around. Have the rest of the guests made their way to the salon?
Yeah, I'm actually in the salon now.
Are all the guests there?
Yes, actually, all of them are there.
Even
Maddie and the newcomers. Even Maddie, the newcomers. Even the newlywed couple is there.
I would like to do a roll to see if anyone's acting suspiciously out of sorts from how they normally do. So
Okay,
that would be
that would be a psychology, yes.
Just
I know that's not the answer you wanted, but unfortunately that is the answer that is.
that is the relevant skill. It's just no.
No, it's hard to tell. You don't know, apart from Maddie, who you already know is acting off, you don't know any of them well enough to
see if
tell
anyone's
if they're acting
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
But I'll probably approach the two sisters. Actually, they were French, if I recall.
They left the train.
Oh, they've left the train.
Yes.
The newlyweds, where were they from? If they weren't French, were they? Or
You haven't really spoken to them.
that's true. They've been otherwise occupied.
Yes. They seem to be talking to each other in English. So
That's good. So, I'll probably grab a drink from the bar and wander over towards them and introduce myself, I guess.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Pleasure to meet you. We haven't really had much of a chance to talk. I'm Dr. Mortimer Davenport.
Simon Taylor, and this is my wife, Loretta.
Pleasure to meet you both. I thought it was rude of me not to talk to the other guests, so I thought I'd better start being more sociable.
Oh, sorry, we've been keeping ourselves to ourselves a bit.
Newlyweds, by any chance?
Yes, it's our honeymoon.
Oh, makes perfect sense. I can understand why. I think everyone.
And such a beautiful train.
It is.
Yes.
Where are you heading to? Are you heading all the way to Constantinople?
No, not this time. Just Budapest.
I don't know much about that city myself. I've never been on this train. This is my first trip on this train.
Same. I mean, where are you going to Constantinople?
Hopefully.
Business or pleasure?
I think a mixture of both. I'm hoping to.
I've heard it's the most interesting city.
That's what interests me. I'm hoping to have a look at the museums, if they have any interest in museums there, to see what the culture is like. I've never travelled to this part of the world before. I think it would be interesting to see and maybe pick up a bit of knowledge about the history of the place. The city itself has got a fantastic history.
Indeed. Well, I hope you have a wonderful time.
And I hope you enjoy the rest of your journey. And congratulations on the wedding last night.
Thank you.
And I'll just leave him to it and wander off.
Okay. You're mingling and wandering around.
Pretty much.
Johan, a woman
Yeah.
that you have seen a few times, but was she? Yeah, no, you did speak to her. She was there that night. Maddie sits down next to you.
No. Hello.
Hello. So, you're the new stray they've picked up. We've picked up.
I wouldn't go as far as to call me a stray.
No? Okay. You're certainly
And-
different caliber to the last few.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
No, I'm sure you don't.
I'm noticing that she's behaving differently than the time I saw her last, right?
Yes?
So, why the change in behavior?
Very forward, aren't you?
I don't see a reason not to be. I mean, honesty is important, isn't it?
I don't find it to be. But if you want honesty, then because Miss Carter can get quite tiresome at times. With the knitting and the manners.
Oh, okay. So you're not Miss Carter then?
No, I'm not Miss Carter. How very astute of you.
So who am I talking to then?
A friend. A friend of a friend, I suppose, maybe. You are a diplomat, yes?
I mean, aspiring,
I suppose.
one would say.
I know some people in Constantinople if you're trying to make connections there.
You certainly have my attention.
When you get to the city, I suggest you speak to Mehmet Makare. He'll be able to put you in touch with the right people.
I will certainly give that a try. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'm thinking this awfully well.
I'm not sure what I'm taking well right now.
No. I am going to ask for a sanity roll at this point. You're talking to someone who looks like Maddie, sounds more or less like Maddie, but is apparently
Off.
not Maddie. And she leans forwards. Stranger things have happened on this train.
I'm just thinking that she's maybe schizophrenic or something. Who knows?
But he'll be able to help you should you be after some contacts. But I wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure we will meet each other again at some point.
I'd appreciate that.
Definitely have potential. This is wearing thin. I think I must go and have a bit of a lie down. My poor head, the vapor's getting to me and all that.
I see. This strikes me as a very odd, especially the sarcasm in that one.
Maddie stands and leaves.
Okay, so I will, note down that name that she gave me, because I'm not sure who's doing what, right? That group around Maddie is quite odd, and Maddie herself just went full on schizophrenic on me. So just another personality in total. Miss Kirsch warned me of them. They were conveniently around when Wolfgang died. I think I'm gonna go talk to Miss Kirsch.
Okay. So Johann
I think I'm gonna confide in her.
over to Mishka. Mortimer and Morgan, are you two wanting to be doing anything at this moment? From your perspective, you saw Johann and Maddie talking, and then Maddie left.
Couldn't have heard that conversation. It's probably too far away, I'm guessing.
Give me a listen roll. If you're really good at listening, you might have caught some of that.
Got a success, so I probably got...
You caught some of it. Yes.
The general gist.
Enough to get the general gist.
But not the detail.
Not the detail, no.
Fair enough. Probably one is... Where's Lady Viola?
Over to one side, bothering Timothy.
Of course. I'll wander over and talk to the pair of them.
Ah! Just the man I was looking for. Take a seat. He's involved in this whole... Timothy here was trying to convince me there's a ghost on the train.
Has he still got all his papers around?
Yes.
Well, stranger things have happened.
They have, but I've got no time for that sort of nonsense.
But this is a new train. I would have thought there wouldn't be any ghosts on a new train.
Exactly.
But,
maybe after this journey.
You never know. So, didn't get a chance to ask you how you knew my sister.
Oh, parties, social events.
She does love the parties.
When my husband was alive, I used to get invited to all manner of things. Well, he used to get invited to things. And mostly anything where there was a card table involved.
Yes. But how are you finding the journey so far?
Quite eventful. It's not been boring, at least, most of the time,
Very
A
true.
little bit of theft. A few gunshots and a death.
That's
Could
true.
not ask for more.
Have you travelled on a train before, or is this the first time on a train?
Not this one. I've travelled. Used to go by boat most of the time.
I'm assuming a lot of these things, these unusual incidences, don't tend to happen.
Oh, stranger things happen at sea all the time.
So they say.
No, I've seen some strange things happen at sea. Not ghosts, though.
What sort of things have you seen that would be interesting?
You hear the stories the seamen say. I've seen a block of ice as big as a house floating out in the ocean.
What
I've
about
seen
giants?
whales and a giant squid. I would hope to. Met a man who swore he'd seen mermaids, but
Oh, there's lots of stories about mermaids, but I've not seen any proof yet.
he tried to point them out to me, but I'm fairly certain they were seals.
They probably were. But whilst we're talking, I'll have a quick look at the papers Timothy's got all over the table.
Give me an accountancy roll. You've been waiting so long to use this skill.
Anyway, so I don't recognise or understand it at all.
You don't understand it, partly because this looks like half of this is nonsense. This is a mess. This is
Like a mad accountant.
This is a mad accountant at work. But yeah, as you're peering over and Lady Viola is chatting away, Johan, you go over to Marlena.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just leaving. Hello again.
Do you potentially have like a minute or 10 of your time?
Oh, yeah, I've got some time. Yes.
And I would usher out of the public, more public areas, and maybe into like
the lobby at the end, or?
Yeah, the lobby at the end, somewhere where we're not as easily listened in on. And I'll tell her, you've been nervous for so long the last time, the last moments, and you've been warning me about these other folks, and
Yes.
then I the things I saw at that night,
Look, you seem like a good man, a decent man, right?
I'd like to think so.
Warning. I'm getting off this train at the next stop. I'm getting out of here. Those people are dangerous. They are part of a cult. Cult of the Skinless Lord. They were taking something to Constantinople in his service. And I think at least one of them is possessed by his force, his magic or something.
This lady? Because
the lady,
she behaved quite differently when she was talking to me earlier.
They are dangerous. They will stop at nothing to fulfill their lord's wishes, and I need to get off this train before they come after me. But
So how do you?
I would advise you to stay as far away from this as possible. To get off the train, to run, to not. Don't listen to them. Don't trust them. They are sorcerers, and they are murderers, and they work in the service of something truly terrible and awful.
How do you know? How do you know all these things?
My father was a scholar. He studied these things. I know a little about this sort of stuff. I got a telegram from a friend in Paris asking for my help. So she gave me money for a ticket, so I got on the train, and I didn't expect things to go the way they did, but they did, and I am sorry, but I need to leave, and you should leave too, before...
So, you're saying what happened to my friend was their fault?
Not entirely. But partly.
Can you give me a way to contact you? I'll stick around
I
and
don't
I'll just
think that
listen
would be
in.
wise.
Well, I want to know what happened to my friend. And I'm not a cowardly person. I'm gonna stay and I'm gonna listen in and see what I can find. I'll promise I'll not trust them easily. I mean, I know them as long as I know you.
Exactly. But look, if you learn anything more about them or what they are doing, yeah, there is an address in Montmartre in Paris. My friend lives there. If you get a letter to her, it will reach me.
Sure.
Yeah. Camille Blanchet.
Camille Blanchet. Well,
I must pack my bags and
take care.
get off before they come after me. Please be very careful. They are very dangerous.
I will.
And it would be best you didn't tell them what I told you.
I don't think that is a good idea either.
No. Right.
And then I'll, leave that, go back into the carriage.
Okay.
Probably get a whiskey or something and sit down and start thinking.
Yeah, as you go back and you see Mortimer talking to Viola and Timothy and, well, Morgan. What would Morgan be doing in this time? You're muted.
He will still be at the bar, I think. Trying to think, to remember if the name never came across in one of the files he had at home. Try to think about what his next step will be, and if he sees Johan get in back in the training in the compartment, he will make a little sign and put a telegram on the bar. See if he comes and read it through.
Sure, I'll head up. I'm gonna be a slight bit nervous and look over the telegram and see, the information on that guy. Okay. Do you think he was the one that did all the things? Doesn't sound particularly competent.
No, I don't know if he was the one, but I start to think that there are a lot of strange things here on the train, and that our conductor lets a lot through. The death of your friends, like nothing happened. The gunshot, normally, to be honest, after the stabbing and the shot and the stabbing that we done, and the shot that the other guy did, normally the police could have arrested us.
I mean,
I don't know.
I don't think so. Usually the police only arrest people that don't have connections. I mean, just look at the reputational damage this company would have sustained if there was police on there, and if there's like, I don't think that there's a particular odd reaction, right? They're a bit concerned about their image, and I use that concern to get us out scot-free. I think it worked quite well.
To be honest, I'm more straightforward, you know. I did what I did. If I need to be arrested for what I did, let it be. I don't like people just go around. You know, I don't know your friend there, but I think it's a pity that, and it's sorry to be such. How can I tell? Straightforward, but normally it can't go like this. It can't. People, you can't let a murder just let through and like nobody knows. There is a murder. A murder is a murder.
And look, the problem is, I mean, sure, I could have gone now and thrown all the weight of my family in getting this investigated, and it would have probably succeeded. But I would have had to answer questions that I wouldn't be able to answer, right? Why was I in that train cart, right? What did I see? Stuff that is important in an investigation. If you don't want to know, just to have a scapegoat on a gallows. I don't care for a scapegoat on a gallows. I want to know who killed my friend. The cops aren't gonna help by something that is floating people around.
No, these floating things, they are coming from someone.
Yeah, exactly. And how are the cops gonna investigate that?
Maybe not the cops, but a person who doesn't want the cops to be around could be one of the, could hide a little more than just reputation.
Well, I'm gonna find out who it was. I have people behind the guy, not just note at the telegram. I'm fairly certain that they did that, or that they're on it. They'll drag everything out, and even if he's not the one that did it, I'm gonna have him ruined.
That's going to be difficult, mate.
I mean, even your short telegram found out he's a smuggler, and he's not particularly good. That's plenty to get him in prison for the rest of his life.
Listen, the little short telegram is coming from the highest knowledge of England. So it's not just somebody; it's somebody that's known. So it's not going to be easy. Oh,
I mean, true.
I'm going
It
to
might
tell
cost
you.
a bit of money.
Yeah, not only money. The money is not a problem. I'm going to tell you, if you want to go that way, you have to, you need to want to take the risk to look like me.
I have people that I can pay to look like you.
Don't you get it? Money doesn't help. When you're going that way, it's becoming personal.
Oh, look, if I need my personal anger vented, usually I have them brought before me so I can show them who it was in the end. That's plenty of personal. And you don't have to walk that much. It's gonna be fine. If necessary, I'll do the dirty work myself. but why would I, skip tools that I have available to me?
It doesn't tell you to skip the tools. I just tell you to be careful. Because sometimes the tool that you have won't be there to help you. That's the only thing I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. I'm able to defend myself. And I'm just pulling out like a ridiculous dueling pistol, right? One that is absolutely not usable for actual combat. The one that you have to manually load with a flintlock, beautifully engraved, and it's like I know how to defend myself.
And there, Morgan start to laugh, but really like, you have still a lot to learn. But yeah, if you need me, I'll be around. And I just like turn like to my drink, and they're like, why am I still around? People, fucking arse.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next stop will be Bratislava in approximately 1 hour's time. If you're leaving the train at Bratislava, please be prepared to disembark.
Probably wander over to Morgan to have a chat now. Have you found out any more, or?
I'm showing the telegram as well, but
Yeah, I suspected he was a smuggler of sorts, but not a very good one. I'd been trying to set up a trade route between France and London, and whilst I was looking into that, his name did crop up as someone who was involved with that side of things, but not one who's reliable and one who tends to do things that went on the legal side, so best to avoid. But that makes sense. I've spoken, I spoke to Dr. Johnson. He seems to know a lot about sparrows. He seems obsessed with that side of research, birds and animals, that sort of thing. Seems to have a genuine interest in that. I've spoken to the newlywed couple. They seem genuine and interested, as genuine as we believe them to be. Let's see, Lady Viola seems to know my sister. Has attended parties that my sister has hosted before now. And there's only, I think, I didn't have a chance to speak to the two sisters before I left.
no, me neither. But speaking about knowing, the accountant, the Timothy guy.
Yes, I had a look at the papers, but I couldn't make head or tail of them.
He's an acquaintance of Mr. Abenati.
The lawyer?
Yeah. They seems to work together.
That's good to know.
I've got the card. I've got his card. He gave me his card.
I could do some accounts, but I'm not great at it. Just enough to run a business, but know how to write up the books. To report to an accountant, but that's about it.
Even that I cannot do. So
I can do the basics, but I'd need an accountant to handle the detail. But the only one I've not had a chance to chat to is Miss Kish, I think, the German lady.
yeah, she seems troubled. I heard her speaking, but it was in German. She spoke about Bratislava.
The next stop.
Yeah. Maybe she wants to come.
Is Johan nearby at this point, or has he wandered
Yeah, I think I'm at the bar.
It's so near me.
We're talking at the bar, so.
Oh, yeah. So I'm sitting like literally next door.
Yes, exactly. I haven't really had a chance to talk to her to find out much, but you are right, she does seem troubled, and there have been quite a few strange things on this train. Maddie seems to be behaving slightly differently.
Yeah, that's troublesome.
Well, as far as I'm aware, she's gonna take the next train and exit in Bratislava because she's worried. I mean, she noticed that the people have been going through her stuff. And I think she's not feeling safe, and a lady alone traveling.
Perfect sense. But
Did she mention why she was going to Constantinople?
Yeah, she's got like a governance as a governant an employment there that's been like arranged by her father, and
Oh,
the new
good, honest work.
exactly.
yeah. Except she's going to be late for work.
I mean, a couple of days. I'd say it's not that important, especially if you have the connections. And she's working for an Austrian diplomat, and I even Heinrich von Calais. He's immediately got me, just so you have somebody to talk to, and to get the foot in the door, so to speak.
Good for you to know more diplomats.
Indeed,
your line of work.
Indeed, it's working out quite well. I hope. Just a bit. Yeah.
If it wasn't for what all is happening, I think I will be leaving the train as well. But I want to find a culprit. You know me.
How good do you know your friend there?
Maddie?
Yeah. She's been talking to me in the car today, and she's behaved so differently that I just asked, and she was saying she was somebody else, didn't answer who.
She what? And then I'm going off of my chair and I'm going right to the cart.
As this happens, Morgan's gone straight that way. We've had this issue before with something else. You know how there's some things we were talking about, superstitions and strange things? A while ago, we encountered a creature that seemed to jump bodies and take over people. It would possess them and take over them, and then it would jump to a new body and kill the original host, and it used to jump bodies.
The cube is... We don't have the cube with us.
We don't.
She has?
I don't know. As far as I knew, it was locked up safely in a safe. I had actually wanted to make it unusable.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I'd wanted to make it completely unusable. And Maddie had already sealed it up in the safe, which I don't have access to, so it's a possibility. But yeah.
I'm going to the door.
What is it? Mortimer? No, Mr. Dr. Davenport? Mr. McCrashley? Sorry, I was having a nap.
We need to have a talk.
Right.
You haven't brought the cube with you, have you?
No.
Have you touched the cube before we left?
No.
Listen, sorry we wake you, but...
How are you feeling today?
Got a headache.
What is the last thing you remember?
We were fighting the... Was that last night? The invisible...
So you
blob.
don't remember having dinner today?
Have I missed... You see her look out the window.
And speaking
Evening
to...
already.
Yeah, but if I ask you where we are, what do you think?
Munich?
No,
Vienna?
we already passed that.
believe you may have lost some time. But yes, you have missed dinner.
And a little
Is
more.
your room service?
I believe this train very likely does have room service.
Alright. I'll ask them about that. I had a strange dream.
Like?
It's hard to explain.
We've had
You have
strange dreams before, so...
It's almost... Though I try and think about it, I can't really remember it. It's slipping away. But,
Well, I'm sorry to disturb your sleep. We'll get back to the search.
yes.
How are the new dresses? Are they suitable? Or...
Oh, they're... Yeah, with a few alterations, they'll fit. I'm not quite that big.
I'm guessing she's behaving more like herself now.
Yes, I'm just not very good at acting Maddie.
But
yes,
but-
imagine that Maddie is behaving impeccably like Maddie.
Yes, she always refers to us by our second names. She never
Yeah.
is that informal, so it makes perfect sense.
Anyway.
Yeah, sorry to disturb you. Leave you to your nap.
Oh yeah. I'll try and join you.
Just concerned that Cube was doing some things.
Bring the cube. You see her looking sort of over the two of you, and she was trying to judge if you two are
Here we are.
if you are in the right. And just gives a little nod and shuts the door.
I turn into Morgan. Well, that was interesting. She seems to be back to herself.
I think I'm going to lose my marbles before,
Yes.
a little sooner than I thought. Next thing we'll know, maybe I have a statue under my pillow, and we never know.
That would be a silly thing to do.
No, don't worry. I drop it in the sand before we leave. Before we left, so don't worry.
Keep strange, dangerous, occult objects on a person. But yeah, so it looks like Maddie might not have been herself.
No, it seems so.
In which case, who was it? And why were they interested in the item? Perhaps let's go back to the bar. We can carry on a talk there.
Okay, so you return back to the bar. By now, it's coming up on dinner time soon, and also, only half an hour or so out of Bratislava.
There's a very curious looking Johann sitting there and basically waiting for you.
Yes, we'll probably head straight back.
Yeah, of course. It's normal.
I mean, that was a particularly obvious way to the fuck is wrong here. So,
Well, it does look as if you were right. She wasn't herself. She seems to be now. The last thing she remembers...
disturbing?
Yes, the last thing she remembers is at, I think, Munich, or just before Munich.
Just before Munich, yeah.
So the entire day somebody else was piloting her, like a train.
Or like a puppet.
Okay.
But what seems strange, like, to be honest, what seems strange is like, if we see everything around, the creature could have been summoned by something. But it's not Maddie, because on this moment, Maddie was fighting with us.
That's true.
Fair.
So
I mean,
at
you
this-
could probably conceivably summon something and fight it then.
Like,
I mean, I don't know.
no,
I-
honestly, she would have summoned something else to. No, but it was.
I don't think I've ever known Maddie to have summoned anything. And
No.
she's never discussed it. But,
She don't. She tried to avoid everything that's strange for the moment. Something happened a few years ago, and since then, every time there was something strange happening, she tried to avoid it. She wasn't with us when we were attacked by the dog. She wasn't with us when we were attacked by this strange creature with the cult.
werewolf.
So
And you're
Yeah,
still
the
trusting her?
yeah, because she saved our ass more than once.
I mean, if she's always not there, if it's going down.
No, she was not with us, but she was at the society at this moment.
when we were fighting that creature, who did we not see who's still on the train?
The two sisters.
The two sisters who've left. There's Timothy, who was actually with us for a short time. He went to get the conductor.
Jean Basson was not with us.
That's true, but he's left now.
You know, even the conductor could have been. Because he wasn't with us, he came afterwards. When we discovered the body.
I'm just wondering whether it's worth... Oh, actually, no, it wouldn't be. I was just thinking if we needed to carry on getting to Constantinople to get off this train and get on the next one. But then again, if that stolen items on this train, we need to deal with that issue.
You know,
Didn't you say the stolen item was stolen from Miss Maddie? That was just puppeted? Can you be sure that it's her item, not whatever was puppeting her?
Well,
I mean, is this normal? Are you bringing stuff around to places
no.
back where they belong or something? I don't know.
Personally, I was against the idea of bringing it this way.
but we needed the item to go that way.
I prefer dangerous items like this. It is dangerous to be kept out of reach of everyone. Made and
Cool.
used.
We needed the item to be studied. That's why we were going to Constantinople.
And hopefully we find more information about it here, but
I'm going to tell you both. If somebody is in my body and speaks through my body, please shoot me down.
I don't think that'll be an easy thing to do. I've seen you take some hits.
Yeah. Yesterday. For him.
But, I'm just wondering... what the right thing to do is in a situation. At least we know the item's still on the train at the moment. If we can get hold of it again, do we really...
How do you know that? I mean, we've been in multiple stops by now.
That's true. It could still be on the train. It may have already left, but
Who knows? Maybe the one that stole it also wants it to go to Constantinople. Maybe they want to bring it somewhere else. I don't know.
perhaps they're trying to take it to Constantinople themselves for someone there. But we don't really need the item to research it in Constantinople to find out further information.
I mean, fair.
But I'd like to know where it is, at the very least.
You know what? If you find the item, you really will need to hold me down because I think I'm going to destroy it.
It may be the best thing to do. I don't know much about this item. I only know what it's called. And only from what Miss Carter referred to it as. I think it was, began with S, Edifcar or Simulacrum or something like that. It's some strange word. I wasn't listening to it.
If it's a broken off arm, maybe it is already just destroyed. And maybe there's like somebody trying to put it together.
That's a possibility. It's probably not a good idea to put that statue together.
No shit.
But,
Um,
I'd like to.
So just for a thought experiment, we know that Miss Carter can be puppeted,
Yes.
and we know that Miss Carter is the one that wanted the arm in Constantinople.
Yes.
Are you certain that you would notice every time she's been puppeted?
I think so, because she never refers to us by our first names, but she has for the last day up until now when we spoke to her. She just seemed to have. We woke her. She'd been sleeping, it turned out.
Oh, when she left me, she called herself getting thin.
What? Hang on, what did she say? What did she say she was, or who did she say she was?
She didn't tell me a name.
No.
Did she brought up something about what did you spoke about?
The arm?
She called me the new stray they picked up.
Yes, so it was something else.
Yeah. She would never have mentioned you like a stray.
Yeah, I was not taking that kindly.
Certainly no charm in that. But, yeah, this arm thing has a strange history from what I could tell. A lot of people seem to be interested in getting hold of it. I mean, you won't know this, Johan, but we had initially travelled to France to track a dangerous gentleman who was responsible for a murder in London, and we tracked him down to Paris. It turned out he was trying to get hold of an item for someone. He was trying to get hold of this arm off someone in Paris. I think the name, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. We thought the best way we could deal with it was to warn her about the theft. And the lady in question seemed quite capable of defending herself without our input. You know how mentioned how Maddie was puppeted?
Mm-hmm.
This lady seemed to have the means to effectively strike someone dumb, so they're unable to act, sort of like, I don't know, like a confusion type thing that just makes you unable to move or do anything. So she seemed quite capable and knowledgeable about this. I think what her name was. I'm sure I made a note of it somewhere.
Blanchet, I think it was.
I believe that was the name of the lady. Camille or...
Okay.
But,
And if I remember, the arm is coming from her.
it was. The person we intercepted it from was trying to get it to an American gentleman who was trying to take it. But I don't know his reasons for it as well.
American gentleman? Okay. Yes. I mean, probably there for the Expo.
Expo Universelle.
Yeah.
He was a collector, I suspect.
I mean, yeah. New money.
Yeah, something along those lines. But there's a lot of people interested in this arm, and I don't know enough about its past to know what we should do with it.
In all your contacts, Johan, don't you think there is something who could help us with knowledge about this harm?
Well,
Could send the telegram to get some knowledge, maybe.
Someone in Constantinople, perhaps?
I have a contact in Constantinople that I'm supposed to meet, but it's more like a political insider and not in like the academia or anything like that. Though we can certainly utilize my name to, arrange a meeting. Museums usually need money to be funded. That should not be a problem.
Most people in society like to be seen at functions at museums or big events.
Indeed. So I don't see a problem in getting contacts or a meeting at least with certain people, as long as we don't, become a problem for them.
By now, the train is slowing into a halt. You're pulling into the city of Bratislava. You can see the castle up on the hill.
Mm.
City around it, and you see the conductor there with Miss Kirsch's bags as she is departing the train.
I will move up before she's leaving and wish her a good travel.
Thank you. Once again, I'm so sorry.
I'll just, give her a hug. Like, very, yeah. Maybe a bit flirty.
Perhaps our paths will cross again.
I hope so too. And I'll let her leave.
Stay safe.
You too.
She see her look back at the train as she departs. There's some coming and going, bags being taken off, a few other people getting off. You're probably going to be in the station for at least half an hour, probably at least an hour. We've got to refill up a water tank, take on some more supplies.
Yeah.
Morgan, you saw that exchange. You didn't understand what they said.
It was in German, to be fair, as well.
It was in German. But you saw that exchange between the pair of them.
We've got time to kill in the city, I'm guessing, before the train departs?
Only if there's anything you particularly wish to do. If there is.
I don't know if there's anything touristy nearby. Like postcard type things you can pick up and send on.
Oh, they've probably got some postcards and...
that's probably what I've been doing at each of the stops either way, is sending a postcard, like a flight note about the journey, and sending it back to my sister more than likely. Obviously missing the strange stuff going on, probably just talking about the journey and the sights, that sort of thing. Nothing major, but Morgan, did you want to see if you could get some guns from somewhere nearby?
That will be...
If we got time.
That will be interesting.
Whether you've got time to try and pick up something.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find something.
A quick shopping trip's fine, right?
Yeah, give me a credit rating roll for, the quality of guns you can pick up on short notice. Whilst your train is stopped.
I think most of the guns around here are probably German manufactured, more than likely.
Most definitely so.
Success.
Yes. You're able to get your hand on a small handgun. Part of stoppage longing for when we reach the 1920s and my table of weaponry really can come into use. Because
Brand new Luger 88. Especially designed last year.
a small gun of some undescribed make and model. This standard 1d8 damage, and we will figure out the particulars of make and model at some later point if it becomes relevant.
Would I have time to send a parcel?
Yes.
Just a
Could be
small parcel.
Yeah, there'll be a post office at the station, so you can send a parcel.
Okay, I'll send a parcel to myself in London, to my bookshop. I'll send both books I've got.
Okay. Sticking in the post.
Because, yeah, and basically, the problem is they're both translations. I haven't finished a translation on the second book I've got, but both the original books would still be in my shop, locked up in a safe, because one's in Latin and one was French, I think. So the two I've got, one's a full translation and the other's most of a translation. I suppose the one way I was lucky I hadn't brought the French one with me as well, because considering my character's mania, he would have carried on trying to translate it on the train and finish studying it. But he didn't think we'd actually be heading this way or for this long. He thought it was a quick trip to Paris and back again. But yes, that's what he'll do, is he'll post both books to himself in London.
Okay. So the books are in the post. A gun has been picked up.
Johann would give Miss Kirsch an address of his home estate so that if she wanted to, she could reach out.
Thank you. And yes, the train, if you're carrying on this train, the train carries on. And evening fades into night. An uneventful night, untroubled by any dreams. Except for those of your own making. And onwards, heading further east across Europe. And as you head down Bratislava through the night, Budapest, across south, through the course of the next day, unless there's anything in particular you want to do, or anyone you want to question, it is an uneventful journey.
I think Morton will just be mingling, striking a polite conversation with the other guests and basically enjoying the scenery as we go along.
No ghosts, no attacks, very little in the way of strange events.
One thing, another quick question. The piano.
Yes.
I want to have a closer look at the piano. I know it may seem strange, but I just want to...
I'm hearing you out here.
Yes, just hear me out. I'm just wondering whether the top of it, I'll just open the top of it to look inside. I'll pretend I'm just interested in the piano itself, but I'm seeing whether something's hidden inside it.
There is nothing hidden inside the piano.
And I'll just pretend to be a professional assessment.
It's a decent piano.
You don't want a appraisal or anything like that?
No, not necessary in this circumstance.
It's a piano.
It's a piano. It seems to be in working piano
It's
order.
probably got a brand name or the name of the maker and stamped
yes.
and everything. Saying exactly who it is.
Don't know enough about pianos to even begin to guess at that.
That's okay. But just basically mingling, being polite and enjoying the journey.
Yeah. At Bucharest, Timothy gets off.
If he needs a hand with his luggage, I'll probably offer to help him. Seems a nice enough lad.
I've got all my papers in
I think they'll
shoving-
probably have a conductor of some fashion to help
papers and
on
I
the platform.
will maybe if he looks to Morgan and goes, if I might call upon you in London if I don't find answers before. Well, do I want answers? No, I don't want answers. I don't want answers. I don't want to know.
When he's leaving, you're like, if you change your mind.
He probably walks away quicker.
Well, yeah, speeds up his pace. Then realised this train got lost and took the wrong route.
Stranger things have happened on trains, especially these
It
ones.
should have been going. I'm fairly sure it should have been going by Belgrade and Sofia, not by Bucharest. Please substitute all mentions of Bucharest in the last 3 hours for Sofia, as I believe the direct train to Istanbul is now running. So as you pull away from Sofia, the train, having righted itself, is just the last leg of the journey into Constantinople.
How is Maddie acting?
Maddie is more or less her as normal as Maddie gets self, though she does seem a little shifty. So she's not quite sure of something.
To be fair, if someone had possessed me, I'd be a bit unsure of someone. Or everyone, in fact.
At last, the train pulls into the city itself, Constantinople, Istanbul, Byzantium, built across the banks of this great river and the gateway to the Mediterranean in one direction, the Black Sea in the other. This great sprawl of a city. And at that time, the heart of the Ottoman Empire. And as the train pulls in, people come to... It's fairly novelty, the Orient Express arriving directly into Istanbul. There's quite a crowd still on the platform. This is probably only the second train to run the direct route, which is how the driver almost got lost. Back up a bit. Take the branch line. But amid the hustle and bustle of the city, what are you actually intending to do?
Well, once we arrive, we'll probably need somewhere to stay. Even a short.
Easily arranged.
I think there's probably more than likely decent hotels nearby to the station. I don't know.
I would probably recommend the one that was recommended to me.
Yes.
And
And we did pick up information on the journey about Constantinople as well. Myself and Morgan were.
Yeah, you've got a essentially tourist pamphlets and tour guide and notes of travellers to Constantinople.
I'd be interested in looking up a museum of some fashion if there is one. Do with antiquities, ideally.
There would most likely be a museum.
And there probably is, but I don't know.
I confess I did not fully expect you to get all the way to Constantinople alive and well, and my research on the city may be a little patchy.
It's okay. I think there is one. I don't know the name of it. More than likely near the station.
Problem is, there are currently many museums in Istanbul. However, working out which museums in Istanbul were in existence in the summer of 1889 is slightly less certain. But yeah, you can make your way over to the museum. As Johan, are you heading off to begin your new career?
I probably will. I'm assuming that there was somebody that I would have had as a contact in the city, so I would,
Yes.
grab myself my hotel room, and notify them of my arrival in the city and where I'm staying, and tell them that I'll be, just exploring the city for a couple of days before engaging in my actual purpose in here. On the notion that the loss of Wolfgang was quite horrendous, and I'll just take my time.
No one is pushing you to
exactly
do anything right now.
I'll probably have a quick word with Johan as he leaves, as we all part our ways and such. I'm very sorry about the. Actually, is Johan stopping at the same hotel?
Yeah. I think I just recommended us.
I'm sorry about the loss of your friend. I suspect the person who summoned that creature and stole the arm is the one responsible. But as to who stole it, still don't know. But I'm hoping to find out some more answers in the city about that statue.
Well,
if I find out anything more about who is responsible, I'll let you know.
Yeah, I'll give you the contact information of my contact, so you can, if it's taking longer than the week that I'm taking off, you'll be able to reach me there. I'm not sure how this is ending.
So it should be easy enough for you to contact us. Just leave a message at the front desk.
Yeah, or I'm sending a postage to London. You said you were some sort of society. You said, right? When we had that first talk in the train.
I didn't, but I don't know if Morgan did.
What?
I'm not sure if we did. As a player, not sure. Because otherwise I wouldn't have told you that.
I think Morgan did mention something about the London Esoteric Society, but I think that was to Timothy.
I'm not sure if it has come up directly to Johan. You have. No. It might have done because he's spoken to Maddie as well about.
Exactly. I think Maddie called it. Worst case, I'm just blaming Maddie. Maddie's gonna have told me, because during explanation of what the fuck's happening. And you said I think Maddie said something about some sort of a society.
Yes, I believe her great uncle had set up great uncle Sir John, I think, had set up a society to deal with the weird creature that we encountered, the invisible thing, but to try and make the world a safer place and make sure dangerous items do not fall into the wrong hands, and dangerous knowledge and that sort of thing, and try to keep things stable. I think they have a office on, I don't remember,
Grosvenor Square.
Grosvenor Square, yes. So should you need to contact someone about these weird events that don't seem to be explained, they might be a good place to consult. I myself run a bookstore in London. I buy and sell rare books, restore old books and artifacts as well.
So you're an artisan. Interesting. A doctor and one.
Tends to be smaller items, small statues or sculptures more than anything else. But my main interest is in books. I tend to even do translations.
Oh.
But, There you go.
Well, it was good to get to know you, and
Wish it could have been under better circumstances.
indeed, would have been way less stressful. Though, admittedly, I would have probably not believed any word you said, if not for the circumstances under which we met.
Yes, I think. Oh, the first time I encountered this was. I didn't quite believe it myself either. It didn't make sense to me, and to be fair, I don't think it will ever make sense to me. There are some things best not knowing.
Well, that's kind of difficult for my, curious nose, but I think it's gonna be fine. It's the rest of the train ride was casual, empty. Nothing happened. So
No unpleasant incidences.
I assume either who did the thing left at what he wanted and stopped in between somewhere.
Yeah, we'll have to work out who left at which stops and who could have had the opportunity to, but that'll be for another day.
Yeah, the problem is kind of that we don't know where they would even store it during the travels, right? Unless they can banish stuff, but then it could have been everybody.
Hidden compartments on item, I don't know. Depends on how thoroughly the place was searched. I mean, you could have hidden compartments in luggage.
I mean, yeah, but considering that they even, searched women's clothing.
It could have been concealed on someone's person, but it wouldn't have been easy.
I mean, as far as I'm understanding, it's an arm of a statue of a large one, so
True.
hiding that on a body seems like...
Perhaps, but women's dresses are large enough to conceal most things.
Yeah.
Well, hope you have a profitable time here, and
I hope so too. And I think the first thing that I'm going to look at is the bazaars. They're supposed to be really
Bazaar.
sprawling.
Yeah.
it's bizarre.
Just
Yes.
row after row of stalls selling all manner of
I will buy whatever shit I
services,
fancy.
spices, metalwork, like
Yeah, it's probably gonna be
A nice sword.
like flies.
I mean, you have
Nice
got your
sword.
own sword back on departing the train. Like, they
Yeah.
did return your confiscated items, including so the conductor would have handed over Johann's nice rapier. Like, I'm sorry, take it off you, sir, and I trust we'll have no further complaints about the events.
There's
Good.
nobody of the ones could have done anything about that. It's happened. A doctor will have an autopsy and we will know more than we do now.
Yes. And sir, here is your knife. He hands the knife back to Morgan.
Yep, a hands-on
And then
man.
sort of steps away as soon as he's handed it over.
And strangely, I've still got the cheat of the dagger, of the dagger, and I put it right away on the cheat, like nothing happened. Like,
Oh, I think I'll take my leave then. Good day, Jesus. And I'll start wandering the streets of Constantinople.
I think Morton will probably look into that museum, assuming we've settled our stuff into the hotel.
Yeah, settle your stuff into a hotel. Johann wanders off into the streets of Constantinople, surely never to be seen again.
Small city.
Paths diverge, for now at least. But, yeah, Mortimer, you head over to the museum. You can see some nice exhibits on the history of the city. and the history of the Empire, the rise of the Ottomans. Some nice pieces of Byzantine art as well in there.
I'm just looking to see if there's anything to do with statues, and particularly the Sedefkar simulacrum.
Not in the museum, no.
They haven't got like
Not an exhibit on it, no.
not an exhibit on it. No, they wouldn't have any like experts in the museum to talk to tourists about the city.
There's a few people probably working at the museum, although.
See if there's anyone who knows much about the statues and sculptures of the city.
Make me a luck roll here if you come across anyone who might have heard of this.
Oh, that's the point. We didn't award luck at the start of this either, but never mind.
No, it's a little late now. This isn't your last luck. This is the.
And I can't spend luck to make a luck roll either.
No. Nobody seems to. At least nobody working in the general public galleries of this museum
Who recognises it of it?
seems to recognize the name. It's likely a little bit too obscure.
Makes sense. I would have had to have been lucky to have found anything.
Yes, indeed. And so you find yourselves in Constantinople at a little of a loose end. Your task was to bring an item here that you no longer have. Disappeared at some point along the way. Maddie has still never told you the name of the person to whom you were meant to be bringing it.
Nope. Which again is suspicious, but whether that was Maddie or her friend.
But you have had an interesting journey on the Orient Express, and you are now at least getting a lovely visit to the great city of Constantinople. So, for every failed expedition, there is a silver lining. As you
Sanity.
spend some time in the city, your sanity is still somehow intact. And so, unless anyone has anything else they intend to do in Constantinople, this brings our journey to a somewhat anticlimactic end. As we see, you as the camera pan out from where they're strolling the streets of Constantinople, shifts northwards and far to the west to a leaf-filled ditch on the side of a railway line somewhere in Germany. And there, lying on its side, dinted, its clasp half broken, lies a battered blue suitcase. Awaiting its retrieval. And